Hi guys, it's Miss Kerwin. I'm here with Kara, and we're going to read the story of the week for you this week, and it's called Saving America's Wolves. How do you feel about wolves, Kara?
Well, good.
Yeah, I think they're pretty good. Would you want to be like close to a wolf though? No, a little bit scary.
Yeah, dogs are like a wolf.
Yeah, dogs are descended from wolves. You're right. All right, the subheading here says they were hunted and killed until they almost disappeared. Now these fierce and important creatures are making a comeback. Imagine you are a gray wolf in the Montana wilderness. You are one of the most feared predators on earth. Your razor-sharp teeth can rip through skin and crush bone. You can sniff out a deer from a mile away. Animals many times your size flee in terror when they see you. Sounds creepy. I can go to the next page. You aren't just any wolf either. You are the alpha of your pack. That means you are the leader. So alpha means that they're the leader. Do you know what a pack?
That looks scary.
Is
that the leader?
He might be the leader, yeah, the alpha. Do you know what a pack is? If you have a pack of wolves?
No.
It's a group of them together. They live together like a family. You decide when the pack eats and when the pack travels. You also decide when the pack hunts. Your kills are as dramatic as a scene in an action movie. You will stalk a group of elk for days and days before choosing one to eat. When you're ready to strike, you and your pack move together in a deadly dance. You chase the elk until it's alone and exhausted, and then you pounce. You and your pack mates sit up and get serious. Clamp onto the elk's neck and legs with your powerful jaws until at last the animal collapses. Does that sound like that's a lot of work to hunt an elk? Holy cow. Do you know what an elk is?
No.
It's kind of like a deer, but it's a different type of deer that lives around here. You and your pack then begin to feast, your faces turning red with blood.
Reindeer?
It's kind of like a reindeer, similar. As a wolf, you are what is called an apex predator, an animal at the very top of the food chain. But there is one creature that fills your heart with fear. Humans. Wait a second. Wolves are afraid of humans? Yeah, they're afraid of us. For hundreds of years, humans in America have hunted poisoned...
Jackie's scared of us.
No, because he's not a real wolf. He's a domesticated dog. For hundreds of years, humans in America have hunted, poisoned, and trapped your kind. They have driven you almost to extinction, and they aren't finished with you yet. It's a bright, cold winter day, and you and your pack are trotting through the snow. Oh, that's an elk. Yeah, she just saw the elk in the corner, guys. It's a bright, cold winter day, and you and your pack are trotting through the snow. Suddenly, you sense...
Cool.
I need you to stop interrupting, my love. Suddenly, you sense that a human is nearby. Fear washes over you. A member of your own pack was recently shot by a human. You tried to help him, licking his coat and bringing him food, but he did not survive. You are still heartbroken by his loss. Is a human now coming to kill you too? They're so afraid that we're going to kill them. The big bad wolf. Flashback to hundreds of years ago. Before the 1800s, as many as 2 million wolves lived in America. They roamed the leafy forests of New England, they howled across the deserts of the Southwest, and they waded through the icy rivers of the Rocky Mountains. But to pioneers in America, these fierce and beautiful creatures seemed like cold-hearted killers, monsters even. In the stories the pioneers told their children, wolves were villains, like the one that devoured Little Red Riding Hood's poor grandmother. Americans' fear of wolves soon grew into hatred. And as more and more people spread out across the country, wolves began dying out. Humans shot them with guns, tricked them into eating poisoned meat, caught them in sharp metal traps, turned their fur into fashionable hats and coats. The wolves were gone. By the 1920s, in most of America, there were none left. Kara, is that very nice?
Nope.
No, just because wolves are scary, people started killing them. This says not a monster. 50 years later, many people began to realize that wolves are not the monsters from fairy tales. It is not in their nature to attack humans. Wolves are afraid of humans and avoid them whenever possible. People began to understand that, in fact, the earth needs wolves. As wolves began to disappear, the number of elk exploded in parts of the U.S. That's because wolf packs weren't there to hunt them. The elk gobbled up trees and grass that the other animals needed to survive. Birds couldn't build their nests. Beavers couldn't build their dams. Without beavers building dams and rivers, the rivers became more powerful and deep. This changed the types of plants that could grow nearby. And meat-eating animals like coyotes and ravens lost a food source. They could no longer pick at the scraps that the wolves left behind after a hunt. So, Kara, it's messing up everything in the ecosystem. Now there's too many elk because there's no wolves eating them, and that's messing up the grass because the elk eat all the grass, and then it messes up everything. Scientists have a special name for animals like wolves, keystone species. Like sharks and lions, wolves are a necessary part of habitats where they live. Without them, ecosystems change dramatically.
Like elk?
They are not like elk. No. Many people.
No. Do they love elk?
Yes, they love to eat elk. It's one of their favorite things to eat. Many people began to say that killing off wolves had been a terrible mistake. Oopsies. The U.S. government passed a law that protected them from being hunted. And then in the 1990s, wildlife experts hatched a bold plan to bring wolves back. Let's look at the picture. There's an arrow pointing to the tail. It says wolves use smells to send messages to other wolves. They mark their land with a urine and waste, a warning to wolves and other packs to stay away, so they pee on things. Well, that's something like Jack, isn't it? He pees on everything when we're out for a walk, not in the house, thank God. Now we got one pointing here. It says a wolf's sense of smell is 100 times more powerful than a human's. Now the mouth says wolves howl to communicate with one another. They join in a group and howl before a hunt. Jack does that with us, doesn't he? He howls. Oh, two layers of fur keep the wolf dry and warm, even in below freezing temperatures. Wow. All right, next section is called Once Again Howling. The wildlife experts caught 31 gray wolves up in Canada. These wolves were brought down and set free in and around Yellowstone National Park, 2.2 million acres of wilderness in Montana, Wyoming, and Idaho. Scientists hoped that these wolves would have pups and form new packs. To the joy of those scientists, that's exactly what happened. In less than 2 decades, that's 20 years, there were 1,600 wolves in the Yellowstone area. Today, the government says wolves are no longer endangered there. And this picture is a male elk, which can raise 7 times as much as a gray wolf. Wow. All right. Next page. Many people are thrilled to hear wolves once again howling in America. Thousands of tourists flock to see them in Yellowstone National Park every year. The wolves have dazzled and inspired new generations of wolf lovers, and they are helping to fix the ecosystem in Yellowstone too. Elk populations are now much smaller and healthier. This says wolf territory. The wolf's pack's territory is the area it lives in, hunts, and raises its pups in. Packs protect their territory from other wolves. In Canada and Alaska, gray wolf territories can be more than 10 times as big as they are in the 48 states of the U.S. Here's a female gray wolf crossing the road, and this is a map of the United States to show where gray wolves and red wolves are. It says most experts agree that there are 2 species of wolf in America, red wolf and gray wolf. In the lower 48 states, some wolf populations are considered threatened or endangered. But in Alaska, wolves have never been endangered. There's like 11,000 wolves there. A fierce debate. Not everyone is happy about the return of wolves. Some hunters complain that the wolves catch and kill the animals. Some farmers are angry because wolves also prey on their cows. After all, farm animals are far easier for wolves to hunt than wild elk. Some people say that there are too many wolves now, that they wander off parklands and into places where humans live. A few states have allowed people to once again hunt wolves outside of the parks. Others argue that wolves should be protected, even in places where their numbers are high. They say that hunting these creatures should not be allowed. Indeed, teams of experts are working hard to make sure that wolves do not disappear again. They are raising wolves in conservation centers, those are special places, planning to release more of them back into the wild. These conservation centers also lead programs to teach people how special and necessary wolves are. Which brings us back to you on that winter day when you sense a human nearby. You do not know what is going to happen, but you have a feeling that you're in danger. Suddenly, a noise thunders from the sky. The noise comes from a helicopter, but you don't know what a helicopter is. You break into a full speed run, zigzagging across the snow, but you aren't fast enough to outrun the flying metal monster that's chasing you. Minutes pass. Your muscles ache. You grow tired, but you don't stop running. The helicopter swoops low. There's a man inside, and he has something aimed at you, and then, click, your body collapses. Everything grows dark. You are not dead. This human did not come to kill you. He came to help you. It was not a bullet that hit you. It was a dart full of calming drug that put you to sleep. The helicopter lands nearby. The man hops out and rushes to your side. He is a wildlife expert who has dedicated his life to studying and caring for your species. He and his highly trained team set up equipment in the snow. They take your blood to study and test for diseases. They weigh you and check your teeth and measure your paws. They record notes in their journals. And they work quickly. They must finish before you wake up. Finally, they put a collar around your neck that has a special radio inside. This radio collar will help them track your movements and learn more about your habits and behavior. Everything they learn will help them better understand you and your kind. Of course, you don't know any of this. You're still fast asleep. When you wake up, the human who had been chasing you seems to be gone. So too is that terrible noise. You stand now covering your muzzle. Snow covering your muzzle, sorry. You lift your head high and let out a long howl. Oh! In the distance, your pack howls back to you. They're waiting for you to come home. Kara, do you see this picture with him wearing this collar?
Yeah.
This is his radio collar that he has on. So scientists put radio collars like this one on wolves so they can track and study them. When they're trying to put the collar on the wolf, they have to be careful not to chase it in a helicopter for too long. If they can't catch the wolf within a few minutes, they leave it for another day. That way the wolf doesn't become too stressed or exhausted. How do you feel about wolves now? Do you feel any better?
Yes.
Yeah, they're kind of good for the environment, right? Mm-hmm.